everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. My guest today is Elspeth Feldman. She's also known as the Speedy Vegan, and she is going to show you today how to make the perfect crepe. Ooh la la, it is vegan and gluten-free. I don't have a very good French accent. Please welcome her to the show. Hello, Elspeth. How are you? Long time no see.
Hi, Chef AJ. Thank you so much. That was adorable. You
So
have a
do
very
you
good French accent.
you're so international. I bet you speak French for some reason.
I really don't. No, the French part comes in because I have three siblings, and all three of them live in the south of France. So my husband and kids and I have had many trips to France because we have to go visit them in the summer, and it is quite a hardship. So that's where the French part comes in. So
But you're
um,
not from France. How did three out of four of you end up moving to France?
So we were born and raised on a dairy farm in Zimbabwe, which is central southern Africa, not South Africa, a different country like the US and Canada, two different countries. Everyone
Oh,
always confuses that. And so we were born and raised there, and then, various political things happened in Southern Africa, and my siblings ended up in England, and then one went to France, and the other went to France, and the other went to France, and then they were just like, this is the perfect place. And it's just, the area they live in is a little reminiscent of Zimbabwe, and they all sort of settled there. Well, they live within about 2 or 3 miles of each other. And then I'm the baby of the family, and I live all the way here on the East Coast of the US. So
did you ever want to move to France to be nearer to your siblings?
we talk about it a lot. And then, yes, I would definitely have to speak French. So it's kind of fun. I have, gazillion nieces and nephews, and they all, completely bilingual. And it's quite impressive. But yeah, maybe one day. But, we have kids of our own, and maybe we'll have grandchildren of our own. So you don't want to be too far. So we might, hop back and forth a little bit, which is so easy to do these days with Airbnbs. So.
Nice. So you have
Mm.
such an international flair, and maybe even unless your recipe is a long recipe, maybe tell people what you have in the bundle because I've heard a lot of people mention it. You have some like it really international type cooking classes.
Yes, I do. So I have three. It's a series of three cooking classes along with all the recipes. So the one class is a French cooking class. The other one is Indian, and the third one is Thai. And of course, the French is inspired by our many trips to France. All the recipes are SOS free and can be made. A lot of them gluten free. And the Indian is more inspired by, I grew up in Zimbabwe, but then I finished high school in a city called Durban, which is in South Africa. And at that point in time, that's back in 83, 84, Durban had the highest concentration of Indians anywhere in the world outside of India. So Durban had a huge Indian influence. There were tons of Indian restaurants, there were spice markets, and just, the smell of curry and things wafting through the air. So I became, really love Indian food. I think you're a fan of Indian food too, right, AJ?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Tammy Kramer made so many recipes from Broccoli Mom's North Indian Vegan Cookbook, which has, I think, like several hundred pages. It's worth almost
Yeah.
bundle cost. And that's what we're having tonight. I do love Indian food, especially oil-free Indian food.
Yes, I know, which is hard to do, right? So I grew up loving samosas. My siblings, whenever my mother would go to the grocery store, she would bring them, chocolate or candy or things like that. But for me, she always brought me samosas because that was my treat. I love the spicy, savory thing. But of course, they are so oil, so much oil in them because they deep fried typically. So I have a recipe in there which is really good. I think I made it on Tammy's live a couple of years ago. Samosas made, but I used the rice paper wraps for the outside, and then they're just baked and air fried. So super easy to do. But so that's fun. So that was the other class, and then the third one is Thai. I have never been to Thailand. It's definitely on the bucket list, but love Thai food. So that's the third part of my three-part series. That's part of this unbelievable bundle. So it's over 5 hours of live cooking demonstrations, and I did it with my daughter. So I'm cooking here in my kitchen here in Maryland, and my daughter was in her home in Boston. So we would switch Zoom screens from me to her as I was cooking, and then jump over to her, and she would give some nutritional facts about the ingredients in the food, and then we'd switch back to me for the next recipe. So it's a real lot of content. It's not just cooking; it's a little bit of history and stuff about the recipe. So a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I've taken some of your classes live and they're fabulous. I'm wondering why so many cultures use so much oil. Like when in human history did that start? Because there wasn't always oil as a food, because there's no oil in
Yeah.
nature.
Well, I think it stops. I think if you look up Wikipedia, it maybe stops when Chef AJ introduced the oil-free way of eating, and that's where it
Okay.
ends. So people just didn't know until you came along. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but other people did Pritikin, McDougall, Esselstyn, but yeah, it's just so
Well,
interesting.
you broadcasted loud and to. I mean, I wasn't listening to them. I listened to you, and so you were my messenger of oil-free. I just assumed you had to put it in there.
I mean, even if somebody didn't want to be vegan, if somebody say wants to lose weight, that's the easiest way to do it is to just cut the oil.
Right. Yeah. And I know there have been some studies recently about more oil, olive oil being not so bad and all the rest of it. And, maybe you can have a little bit here and there, but not in the quantity that people have it, So just try it without oil. It's just not necessary. So
And the thing is, when you say not so bad, does that even mean it's healthier? So, I don't know. I take it with a grain of kelp.
grain of kelp. I love that.
Yeah.
Just realized my lights went on. So hopefully you can see me better. Oh, yeah.
So how
Yeah.
does one make the perfect vegan oil-free, gluten-free crepe?
Well, so my son eats gluten-free. So when I was trying to develop a crepe recipe, I decided to make, try and do them gluten-free. So I use brown rice flour and oat flour. So actually, I learned a little thing this week. This is kind of funny, Chef AJ. I have a recipe in the Feel Fabulous Over 40 Kick Sugar thing that you're in as well. And it's for muffins. And one of the ingredients I listed was oatmeal. And somebody asked me, well, surely you mean rolled oats. And I was like, yeah, but oatmeal is the grain. And I was thinking it's kind of like potato, because like I call what you maybe Americans call oatmeal, I call porridge. But oatmeal is what I use to make the porridge. So they were thinking that you had to like make some porridge, oatmeal, and then put that in the muffin recipe. But anyway, so oatmeal is what you want, rolled oats, not oatmeal. Okay.
Right.
So that's
Yes.
oat flour. And banana is what I use for sweetening the crepes. And you want to have a nice sort of freckled banana because you don't want the green ones. I always have a whole lot of bananas over here. These are the what not to use. You really want to have the very freckled sweet bananas because then they kind of just become more sugar than anything. They're not as banana-y. So let's see. And can you still hear me? Whoops.
I hear you great, but now I don't. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, she's gone. I can't do this one by myself because I'm not set up for cooking. All right. Well, in the meantime, hopefully she'll come back. And here she's back. Yay. See if you guys have any questions. Do you download the bonuses in the bundle or just an offering for a year? Terry, I don't know what you mean by the bonuses in the bundle because there are no bonuses in the bundle. The bundle is everything all at once. So you get the ability to download all, I believe it's 151 unique things up to a year. So there are no bonuses in the bundle, if that makes sense. If please clarify what you meant by that. Yeah. I'm so glad you came back.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened there. That was weird.
Yep.
It just booted me out.
Didn't like it for some reason. Okay.
Sorry. Anyway, so where was I? I was talking about the ingredients in this crepe recipe. I did go ahead and blend up some of the batter already. And I went ahead and made some of the vanilla crepes. So these are just the regular ones that you get everywhere. I love them because I just put a sheet of parchment in between the paper, and I can just freeze them. You can, keep them in the refrigerator like that, and then just heat them up as well. And the reason I went ahead and made the vanilla ones is because I really want to show you the chocolate ones instead. So, so this is how I plate the vanilla ones. Can you see that? You can see that, right?
Ooh, that looks beautiful with the chocolate sauce.
Yeah, so that's just the chocolate drizzle is just date syrup and cacao powder. So the cacao powder is going to be quite bitter without the date syrup. So you want to blend it in, and then I just put it in a squeeze bottle, as I'll demonstrate later, and I just drizzle it over the top. So real pretty. So this is the vanilla crepe, or the, I don't know, yeah, I guess it's vanilla because I do have vanilla powder in it. And then all I'm going to do to make the chocolate is add some cacao powder to it and blend it back up again. And then I'm going to show you how I go ahead and make them. So I like my chocolate crepe nice and dark. There's a lot of antioxidants in cacao powder, so you want to do that. So I'm going to make a little blender noise here, Chef AJ, so feel free to chatter away.
Feel free to talk to everybody. You guys ever made crepes before? I did once in high school. I was in a French club actually in high school, and we made crepes. I don't think they were vegan. That was 1 year before I became vegan. It would have been 1976. Yep. Let's see if you guys have any questions. Yeah, so Terry, if you're still there, explain to me what you mean about bonuses, because the bundle is everything, which like no tricks or anything, like just you buy it, it's yours for the rest of your life. Just have a year to download it.
Yeah, but you do need to download it before a year is up. So my advice to people is to when you get the link, when you buy the bundle, you get the link, just download or put it onto a thumb drive or something like that, or like external hard drive, just so you remember to do it, because you'll be surprised how quickly life gets busy, and suddenly it's March of next year and you're like, I forgot to download the bundle. But yeah, just download it all. I end up going through and just seeing which ones I really think I'm going to use, and then I put those in a separate folder, and then what I do is I screen grab a bunch of the recipes so I can sort of like bookmark them, so I know I'm going to go back and make them as well. So that's my method.
What have you made from the bundle, if anything?
Well, let me just put this batter on the thing, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what I make. First, I'm just going to pull down my camera a little bit down here so you can see my you can see this area here, right? Yeah. So I just have a Presto griddle that is nice and hot. And this batter's probably gotten a little thick because I've had it sitting out here a little bit. So what I do is I want to just pour the batter onto the, I'm going to try and do about 3 right now. Should be a little thinner than this. This is going to be a little thick, but we'll see. So, okay, it's all going to taste good. So that's what matters. And then I just take my griddle and I just kind of move it around and let it dance around a little bit, because I want to try and get the crepes nice and thin. And I think as I mentioned, I think I've got them a little bit thick. So there's no baking powder or anything like that in the crepes, but by just jostling it around and around, you'll get it to be a little bit round. So I'm just going to let those cook for a little bit. And then this is going to be the funniest shape one. You'll be able to see the bubbles kind of form on the batter. And that's when you know that it's time to, oops, I'll unplug my heat thing. We're going to need to have this plugged in. That's when the the crepes are going to be ready to flip. So here we go. Let's see. So what I do is, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Elspeth, Shirley would like to know if you use Dutch processed chocolate powder or raw cacao powder.
I use raw cacao powder. So that's the one that I use. So just one ingredient, organic raw cacao powder. So those are going to cook for a little bit, and then I'll just bring it back up, and then all I'm going to do is flip them over, and I'll show you that in a second. So you asked about what other things I've been making from the bundle. It's kind of like Christmas Day for all of us who like to cook. What I did was I started from the bottom this year. Usually I go, everything's listed alphabetically, and I decided instead to go from the bottom and work my way up. I mean, obviously I looked at everything, but then I went down from the bottom and worked my way up to see what recipes I was going to use. So I started with W, which is Well Your World, and that's Dylan and Reeves' favorites. It's called Well Your World Favorites Volume 2. And there are a number of recipes in there that I've tried. I've done their San Francisco oats, which is a savory oatmeal. Delicious. I was very attracted to the beautiful photograph. And then today I made the another recipe from their book, which I thought I'd just show you quickly. These are their IKEA balls. So these are like the IKEA meatballs, and they are just packed with vegetables. If you haven't looked at it, Chef AJ, definitely look at this recipe because
Wait, whose recipe is it? Those look amazing.
yeah, this is Dylan's from Well Your World.
Oh, they look
Yeah.
so good.
So I don't know, it's been a long time since I've been to IKEA, but they have like Swedish meatballs, and then there's this delicious like cashew cream sauce that goes with it. So that's one that I made today, which was good. I've also made I made not broccoli, Mom. I made a creamy broccoli soup from Heather Dunham. I forget the name of her book. Hers was really good. But I have loved Chef Dell has a book, and I think this was worth mentioning. He has a book that's dressings and sauces. And so many people ask me, how do you make oil-free dressings? How do you make, sauces? Chef Dell he's fantastic. He has so many different, he's got like mayo and the horseradish mayo, and then he's got the sauce that he used in his deli. They used to sell the recipes right there in the bundle. Chris Kendall's frickin' Rawsome book. He's so much fun. I just like, he's always got so much energy, and I'm not a raw food person, but I do like some raw food. Of course, Lissa's wraps book, everyone's been talking about that, is fantastic. And then Chef Julia, I love her, and I love her Japanese book. I was telling someone earlier today that, with the St. Patrick's Day coming up, I have a stuffed cabbage thing that I always do on, St. Patrick's Day. But Chef Julia's got one in her Japanese book. Obviously not a Irish style stuffed cabbage, but it looks so good. I figured I'm just going to do the Japanese version this year. So that's on my list to do.
A Japanese version of stuffed cabbage?
Well, yeah, it's like, it's like kind of like a dumpling kind of thing. So it's like stuffed cabbage. It's going to be good. So definitely look for that one. And then there's like non-recipe books as well that I've been intrigued by. Dr. Feldman has what's it like in infection protection or something? Or
yeah, I love that title, infection protection.
Yeah, I know that drew me in, and I always learn from him, so that's kind of fun. And then there's Tammy's Cooking for Company. I love Tammy's style of cooking. I feel like I'm, very much, like I cook very much like Tammy. And I think that's just a really valuable resource to have all of your recipes in one spot. I'm thinning out the crepe batter because the batter got too thick.
There is a question about the temperature of your griddle. Hold on one sec. Let me find it from actually, I did get Instagram to work this time, believe it or not. And the Plentiful Fare says, what temperature do you have your griddle set to? I find my Presto griddle runs hot.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really calibrate this. I know you always told us about calibrating our ovens and getting them right, but I have it set at 350, but who knows? I mean, it's been on for a little while, and it also has some hot spots. I've not found the perfect griddle, but this is good. This is good enough for this. It really is fine. So I just play with it. I'm just going to blend this up a little bit more because I needed some more liquid in here, AJ. Yeah. All right. So this should be a little bit thinner now. The nice thing about this batter is that you can make it like the night before if you're at in a pinch, and then you can just thin it out with some extra milk. I'm a big fan of soy milk these days. Use whatever you want. So I'm going to try and bring that up. So I'm just going to like scoot this around, and you can see it sort of runs. It's a lot runnier now. So it's going to make a better crepe. And we're just going to let that run around a little bit. And once you start getting the bubbles in it, I'll be able to flip it over and then show you how I plate it. Oops, I've given myself a chocolate mustache.
Have you ever put like cocoa powder into the crepe batter to make a chocolate crepe?
This is exactly what I've just done with this batch. Yeah, so these are the chocolate crepes.
So that's
Yep.
fun. You can make different colors.
Yes, yeah, and now I've been seeing, other people's like Lissa's book and stuff. I'm thinking, why not have blue crepes with spirulina? Or you can do fun different things as well. So
Yeah, she's going to be on the show right after you, and I'd love to know because I'm worried that with spirulina make the taste different.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've had spirulina in smoothies and things like that, and green juices and stuff. But like anything, once you get used to it, I don't know, maybe you don't notice it as much. I don't know. I don't remember having, I don't think it has a very strong flavor, but Lissa will know. She'll be the one to ask.
It is very pretty.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we got to get these little crepes over so we can show you how pretty they're going to be with the raspberries and the chocolate sauce. So I'm flipping over my crepe. And nothing, nothing fancy. So I go around the edge, make sure it's loosened all the way around the edge, and then I can just flip it over. And that's how it looks. So in just a moment, we're going to plate it up, and then I'll put some chocolate sauce on and some raspberries, and then we will
yummy. You could make savory crepes too, right?
Yes, yeah, you can mushrooms and vegan, like a vegan cheese sauce with nuts made with cashews, and then some parsley on top as well. So instead of banana, that's going to be a problem. Let's think. So you'd have to have something savory, but the banana also adds bulk to it.
What about potato? Maybe like a potato,
like a regular potato would be perfect. There
right?
you go. Collaborate.
Why
Love
not?
that.
We have a nice comment. Marley says Dr. Furman's part of it. Nice. Yes, many of the medical plant-based doctors are like Dr. Nikki Davis, Dr. John McDougall, Dr. Simran Malhotra, Dr. Lori Marbus, who has an incredible course about understanding your blood tests. And there's a question from Rachel. Would you be able to download to a fresh drive an Apple iPad, or do I have to choose either one? I'm asking customer service.
Oh, to a iPad or what?
Okay, so the question is, would I be able to download it to a flash drive and Apple iPad, or do I have to choose either one?
She could do it to
both.
Download it to.
Yep.
No, I think
Many
only five
places you want. Yep, I have it. iPad in the Books app.
Perfect.
This is my iPad. I have it on my phone. And what I love, I didn't hear who was asking the question, but what I love is, like, if I'm at the grocery store and I'm like, oh, dang, I really wanted to make that recipe, I can't remember what's in it. I can quickly just go in my little, Books app, pull up the recipe book, and voila, I got all the ingredients right there. So here I got my crepe. I'm going to just place it on the plate over here, and got my second one. So with these crepe, I'm just going to fold it in half and then fold it over again. So you have it, just nice and pretty like that. I've got half, and then usually I do, like, 3 or 4 of them like this. And I've got my chocolate syrup here, which I can, if I can get the lid off, I can just drizzle it with a bunch of chocolate over the top and get some on the plate as well, because it's nice to dip into it. And then add a few raspberries, because who doesn't love raspberries and chocolate? My husband's a big blackberry fan, so he might have a little extra blackberries. But you end up with some really pretty crepes. And they're gluten-free, they're vegan, they're oil-free, they're sugar-free, and they are delicious. So my husband's definitely going to put a little nut butter on here. But for me, I like them with just the fresh fruit and the chocolate date syrup. So there you have it.
What do you do when you're making crepes for a crowd? Because how do you keep them warm? Is it something similar to the tortilla system, where they have that special thing where you can keep your tortillas warm?
So I just make like these crepes I made earlier. So I just have a sheet of parchment paper in between them like that. So if I'm going to heat these up, I can just put them back on the griddle just for a little bit. Or you can just microwave them. They're going to come out fine. They're going to be a little chewy. They won't have quite the same consistency, but they're, super easy. I mean, they're just, great. You can roll them. You can, they're great to have made in the refrigerator. So That's good.
Can you batch prep crepes, you think?
Yes. Yes. I think you can. I've frozen them as well. They come out just fine. So yeah. I mean, they you know, like a lot of things, they're going to be better when you just have them straight up, you know, fresh, but you can definitely do that. And then I just have one other thing I'm going to show you, Chef AJ, before we go. And then we're time's up here. One of the other recipes that I have in the bundle is in my Thai class, and it is for a flan, for a vegan flan, which is always a fun one. So I did go ahead and make the flan. I have them all in these ramekins right here, and I'm just going to plate one for you so you can see how yummy it is. So all I do is I just hit these I made 2 nights ago, and they're just in the fridge. This is a really nice dessert to have if you're having company, because you can make it in advance. And then I just put the plate and I flip it over, and you just hope that it's going to come out perfectly. And there you have your flan. It's nice and googly and jelly. And then all I do to decorate the plate is I'll either do like just strawberries cut in half, or I'll do a fan, you know, strawberry fan. But there you have a Thai dessert, which is often made with coconut milk and things like that. There's no coconut milk in this recipe. So another dessert from my offering that's part of the vegan bundle. So,
you know, I know you call yourself the Speedy vegan, but I always thought you should call yourself the elegant vegan, because you just make everything look so beautiful. Just even the little touches, like when you're presenting, having the flowers there and everything, you know?
Oh, I always love my flowers. Yeah, you gotta have flowers. So luckily I'm married to a man who loves flowers too. So if we don't have flowers in the house, he's like, well, flowers. So yeah, but you know, the fruit is always so pretty as well. So, you know, and Prince is coming over to say hi. I've got a little bit of something for him. What can I give him?
A strawberry, I don't know. Do dogs eat
Oh,
strawberries?
you know what he loves? I have broccoli. Yeah, he loves broccoli. Sit. Look at AJ. Look at AJ. Say hi. He loves broccoli.
I sure wish Bailey loved broccoli. She'll
Oh,
eat
really?
it. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Diane was saying she made lemon crepes in high school. Lemon would be delicious.
Yes, there's another Lisa Rice has a crepe recipe that's in the bundle that I think has a lemon kind of it's a lemon thing. So
It's
yeah,
kind of like crepes are like the French version of Indian idlis. Seems like every culture, so you know, tortilla, it seems like every culture sort of has
that's
like
so true, right? And the Indian, they have the pampadums and the naan and the roti. So yeah, definitely there's some cultural thing, but with every culture has their thing.
Well, Elspeth, other than the bundle, which is happening now, are you doing anything more that people can follow you or engage with you, or?
Oops, here we go again. Last piece of broccoli. There you go. I teach every alternate month on the Feel Fabulous Over 40 group. So I do live classes on that group. I write articles for a publication called The Ethel, which is a publication that everyone should subscribe to, a woman over 55. And it is a lot of fun. It's not a vegan publication. It's just there's great articles on every topic you can imagine. And I do some articles on plant-based cooking. And so that's been fun. I work full-time, so I'm not doing any live classes. I don't have any live classes scheduled right now. But I'm always, you know, showing up here and there with recipes on Instagram and threatening to update my my website with new recipes. I have 1,000 recipes in my computer. I just got to, you know, put them on there and make it look pretty. So watch this space. I'll get there.
And 1,000 recipes, it sounds like you got a book. You're sitting on a book.
Oh, well, that's, you know, how much work that is. Oh, my goodness. Look who's posing for you right here, Chef AJ.
Lydia's saying he's beautiful.
Nick, isn't he beautiful? Yeah, he's a good boy. You're a very good boy, right?
I know. I follow you on Instagram, and you travel quite a bit. What does he do when you're gone?
Oh, that's the saddest thing. You know, he's quite a handful. So we have a kennel. It's actually about a mile up the road from us that we take him to, and they take really good care of him. There's only 3 people who I know in this world who can handle him, and that's me, my husband, my son-in-law, and my son, and that's it. So I don't really want to trust him with anyone outside of the kennel because they, you know, care. So it's very sad. I mean, we call every day to find out how he is. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're calling from Greece, you're calling from France, you're calling from Costa Rica. It's like, we just want to know how he is, but he's great. And they send us little video footage and stuff. It's hard. That's the hard part about travel and having a dog. So
That's why I stay home. Well, Elspeth, you sure make food very beautiful. What can I tell you? So thank you so much. It's so great to see you again.
Well, nice to see you, Chef AJ, and thanks for having me on here. And thanks everybody. And if you buy the bundle and you have any questions about my recipes, just message me on Instagram or, you know, send me an email, thespeedyvegan@yahoo.com, and I'll be happy to explain anything. So thanks, Chef AJ.
Oh, thank you. And if you want to get the bundle from Elspeth and support her, her link is right below in the chat and in the show notes. And thanks everyone for watching. We have one more show today in about 20 minutes. Lissa Maris, she's going to be making those blue spirulina wraps. You won't